Well, that was quite an exciting turn of events there. Fire department showed up. All the people in the building are running down the stairs, and we go down onto the sidewalk. And then by the time I got down there, they were already packing up their stuff and saying it was the hair salon. There was so much steam in the hair salon that it triggered the smoke alarm. Thanks, guys. All right, so let's get. There's Jean-Paul again. How's it going? Here we are. Let's get back into the groove.
Yeah. Are you sure it wasn't because these tracks so far are fire?
You know, I was gonna say it could have been that Oxus, that Plexin Oxus track was just too hot. Man, oh man. All right, so I don't know if we fixed your delay. I think we should just press on. As long as people can hear the music and hear your voice in relatively good timing, then we should just not waste any more time troubleshooting. Let's get on to the next track. We have got Willie G, Dungeontronics.
Oh, yeah.
Another nice slow roll going on here. This is good.
Nice. That like little bubbling, squirrely synth in the background.
Yeah, it is kind of funny, that sound. It's like squirrely is a good way to describe it. Something's talking to you.
Yeah, little chipmunks are eating the wires.
They're alien chipmunks though, right?
Yes.
That makes it more electro. Nice syncopation on that kick.
Oh yeah. Mouth harp rubber band action on the bass.
Yeah, it's got that kind of mouth harp sort of vowel tone, right?
Yep.
But an alien
overall,
mouth harp, that makes it more electro.
Overall, it's like got this good Drexian underwater science fiction sound. A little, I don't know if you know Blue Tech, who's a local Los Angeles electro producer. He's got a great album out along these lines as well.
Is that Blue Tech with a CH or a K?
CH.
Aha.
That album's all about underwater alien and civilization. Yeah, this is good.
Nice. Got a nice. Let's jump into the break here. Ooh, I like this part.
Mm-hmm.
What is happening to that sound, do you think? What's making it sound swirly and...
Hard to tell.
We're having another technical issue, I'm afraid. Seriously? When it rains, it pours. Now my screen share is not working. Good gosh.
Wow.
At least the audio is still going. I'm going to try to fix this on the fly while we listen. All right, so you were just saying...
Yeah. Hard to tell what that is.
I know. But I hear filter modulation.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's some kind of modulation or if it's just some kind of arpeggiation or sequencing doing that rising melody.
I think it's modulation, definitely.
Okay. I've got to do some OBS ninja skills to fix the screen share thing while not going off the air and while keeping the music going.
And avoiding a fire.
Good gosh. This is really crazy.
Yeah, really dig this one. There's really nothing to critique, really.
Nothing?
It's hard. I mean, I
think the screen came back. Did the screen come back, everybody? Can you see it? Yes. It came back. I love it.
Yeah, it seems like the point is being clearly gotten across in this one.
Okay. Actually, it came back, but it's not back. Now it's stuck on what it used to be on. Oh my God. I haven't had this many problems on a stream since like 2 or 3 years ago when I was streaming from my living room. I mean, really. It is just not happening today. All right, we're gonna have to talk a little bit and shoot the breeze while I fix this issue, because it is just I don't know. I do not know what is going on today. All right, let's take this opportunity to, well, first of all, acknowledge everybody in the chat and just to say thank you for being so patient today, what with fire alarms and fire departments and stream problems. And now my screen just decided to go away. So I really, I'm not about that. I'm about like a good, solid, well-produced stream. So thank you for sticking with us today. Now, here's what I'm gonna try to focus on fixing the screen sharing issue, but I'm gonna ask Jean-Paul here a little bit about what are you working on in terms of, well, there were two things we didn't get to in our intro. It was sort of, we talked about your Volsoc thing, and we played one of your original tracks, your solo tracks, what are you working on currently musically? And then also another topic would be that you could tell us stories about would be sort of your involvement with music technology and isotope and native instruments. So one of those directions would be interesting. Tell us a story while I try to fix the screen.
Well, once upon a time, we have this project called the Pretension All-Stars.
Right.
This is Bass Kittens, Jeff Cross, my Volsoc partner Justin Maxwell, and myself. And we debuted a new track of ours on this broadcast when Carl Finland was a guest. And that song is now launched today. And
fantastic.
I hope that John Druckmann can share a link to that, to the Bandcamp, and hopefully some free codes to go along with that. And so we have a track out previously that has a remix from Carl Finlow and from who else was on it? Code Rising, I believe. And then this one, we have also remixes from Freaky Chakra and from Single Cell Orchestra. And so we're going to share that today, hopefully in the chat, if John Druckmann is around and alive and has anything ready to roll in the chat. So that was our big announcement today. So yeah, that's going on right now. We have some more work that we're doing right now as far as the Pretension All-Stars goes. Something that we've been kind of kick-started back into gear.
Okay.
After a couple of year hiatus. Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
And yeah, super fun. That's got, the amount of gear that the four of us have between ourselves is pretty ridiculous.
I'd like to see that all set up at once.
I can't even. Well, there's two of them in the city of San Francisco, Justin in outside of San Francisco in the mountains, and myself down here in Los Angeles. So most of the time we do remote working, together, but sometimes I'll fly up there and we'll all sit together in a room and work on things in real time. So that's pretty fun. It's really great. John and Jeff have like a really ridiculous studio up there. So super fun to just like have access to any synthesizer that you can think of. But yeah, so that is ongoing. And yeah, as far as the native instruments isotope work goes, I started there as I was the director of product design for quite a while there for 4 years. Sat on the team of the leadership team, which was a cross-functional team made up of pretty much everybody who decides what we're going to do and like makes room in schedules and and allocates talent and resources and everything, and helps guide the vision of where we're going in the future, and instituting roadmaps and technology stacks and all that kind of stuff. And so, started off with my very first project with them was working with BT on Stutter Edit 2, which was really great because I used to use Stutter Edit 1, and everything that I touched is such a weird piece of software.
Yeah.
And so it was great to work with him on doing number 2, which was a really big success.
Right.
And then we launched into like Neoverb and RX8, I think, and Ozone 8, and a lot of different stuff we went through, turning ourselves into a subscription only company for a while, and then reeled that back and started selling perpetual licenses once again.
That's probably the better way, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not a big fan of the subscribe forever and own nothing kind of a situation.
Yeah. It's a lot of people had good intentions behind it, but the market just wasn't there for us. And so we tested the waters, and, there was a bit of a backlash. Plus people were just like, I don't want to do this at all. And so, now we have both, which is a great deal.
Sure.
It's a great value for, a lot of people can't afford Ozone
all of it. Yeah.
Advanced.
Sure.
Right. And so getting it
makes
for
sense for some
$20 a
people.
month is, totally 100%. And a lot of people who are just like, oh, I'm only going to do this project for a little while.
Right.
And then so it's like you can access it for a couple months and spend like $40 instead of thousands. So it made sense for a good amount of people, and still does.
Yeah.
So the last thing that I worked on with them was doing the new update for Trash, which was also, it's a beloved cult following distortion plugin.
It is pretty good.
So, but it was also, it's really crazy. So this one, we have, I think, you can have up to 16 different distortion algorithms and convolution reverbs on it at the same time. And we also launched it for the iPad Pro for Logic specifically. And this was our first time doing a AOV3 Logic instrument. And so that
you
one
were
is
saying the
doing
other
really
day,
great because
like a lot more people are using iPads for production nowadays.
Yeah, it's become such a power horse or a workhorse that, a lot of people are just, it's easy to make beats on the fly when you're literally flying, or like you're just in your bed, or like you're doing something else, and the iPad is so powerful, and Logic is so good and sounds pretty amazing right now. So a lot of people are just getting away from desktops and going strictly over to that platform, which is really cool. Yeah. So that was the last thing that I worked on, and I think we launched that just 2 months ago. Yeah. But
and
really
are
unique,
you still
working with some of the smartest people in the industry.
Sure.
No, I left in earlier this year.
Okay.
But it was such a treat to work with like some of the biggest brains that I've ever worked with in my life. Just people behind some of this remarkable technology that is just it makes my brain melt talking to people there sometimes. But as a product designer, like we have to do really cool and unique ways for people to interact with our products. And my product design team also really stellar. And as well as product research and user research and all that stuff. So really, really super fun, which prevented me from working on music for quite a while because.
But you have time now.
Now I have time, yeah.
Nice.
And so, during lockdown or, through the whole COVID thing, we were all 100% remote. So I was spending all day in my music studio working on products. And then the last thing that I wanted to do is spend more time in my music studio. And so I'd just be like, get me out of here. And so there is a big drop off in like how much I was, But anyway,
well, I hope that we're going to hear more from you now, because you've worked on a lot of great music with also and collaborated with on a lot of great music. So definitely looking forward. Speaking of music, I think I have a solution for the screen share. Let's see if it works. There's the screen, and looks like I am able to switch. Yeah, it is working correctly now. I feel like we didn't quite complete our feedback for the Dungeontronics, the Willie G Dungeontronics. Let me just listen to this again. We had this nice break in the middle with that sound we were trying to figure out. And the beats come back. Nice little moment of drama there and back into the groove. So I like this track. I had only one thing. I felt like it sets up, especially in the intro, it sets up this little amount of tension, and then that bass sound comes in. I kind of, and this is a taste choice, this is like a artistic choice, but like, I felt like it didn't have the impact I was expecting, right? What do you think? When that rubber bandy sort of bouncy bass note comes in, I like that sound in and of itself, but I wanted a little bit more oomph at that point.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and you're right that it's like, is that a taste thing? Is this a subjective note? Like, is this like a flaw, or is the producer actually getting their point across in the way that they want? And so that's a little gray area for me, and I'm leaning towards this is all like purpose and intentional, and it's, I feel like I'm being told the story that wants to be told. Yeah,
so, you can tell when someone does something confidently, usually.
Yeah.
One other point that I thought is that the note of that bass note sounds like it's not in tune or in key with the chords. So it's set up this harmonic space with this sustained chord, and then the bass note comes in and it's out of key or out of tune, or both maybe. Is that something
I'm with you?
Yeah, I felt like, maybe just a half step up would have been better, right? It's so close. Yeah. But then again, they might want it to be inharmonic and strange. So that could also be a gray area. But so just something to think about for Willie G there. Nice track. We've got a lot to get through in a shorter amount of time now because we were interrupted. So we should probably move forward with alacrity and dispatch. How about that for some SAT words? They're not even on the SAT. Those are like really obscure Latin root words. Ooh. That's loose. You know what I mean? I feel dizzy.
I do too.
I'm like, is it coming in double, or is this how it's supposed to sound?
Right, that's what I was wondering.
But no, I think it's supposed to be like this. There's no echo on the snare. I think this is someone's playing around and having fun with timing. All right, there's some interesting notes here.
This is
studio test mix recorded into Ableton-12 from Modular Synth, Tip Top Drums, MFB Synths, Pamela's Pro Workout, homemade DIY effects units. So this is some experimenting happening here.
Yep. Once you said Tip Top audio, like I could tell that.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a lot of things patched together and just going wild and bonkers. It's just a bunch of machines that are just floating off on their own.
But there's still a groove though. Like here now, the hi-hats are kind of smooshed together and it sounds a little more tight, but I feel like that might just be an illusion. It's funny when you're like, all right, I've seen people noodle around with modular gear and have it be completely just aimless and unmusical or undeliberate. This is deliberate, but there's still a little bit of that noodly weirdness in there, which is fun. You know how there are those old like Doppler effect tracks that sound wrong but are amazing? It reminds me of that. Yes. Like, and I know they did it on purpose. It's making me scrunch my face up. In a way, it's kind of funky. You know what I mean? Like, it's got that like All right, I'm gonna jump in a little bit.
Like an element of like schematic label music to this.
Oh, right.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting stuff.
I hear like a French woman speaking in the background.
Right. There's some kind of that vocal sample kind of comes in and out. So that's crazy stuff. All right. It's I don't think that's for everybody. You know, like that's going to be hard to play on the dance floor mostly. Although some very adventurous DJs at the right time of the after hours might go there. It's definitely like I feel like it's in this zone of it's experimentalism. You know, it's electro for sure, but it's definitely pushing some boundaries. And I guess what remains to be seen, and it would have to be explained by the person who made it, is how much of that is deliberate and how much is just circumstantial. Like, is that looseness in the beat because things are out of sync because something's not syncing correctly, or did you choose that? That's what I would want to know to really give the right feedback for something like this.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I think I find that like I said before, it's like this schematic record label like has a lot of stuff that's in that vein where it's like very tweaky and not super dancey, but that's fine. I mean, it's got all the elements of electro in it. And it's, like you said, probably sounds intentional to me.
Yeah, no, I think this is experimental on purpose, and I generally like it. I always like to hear people when they're making music with hardware like this to spend a little bit more time on the mix. You know what I mean? And that would help me tell how deliberate all of this is too. Like and I also know that there's an aesthetic here and that people are like, they have these contained systems and they're just going straight onto a recorder or just into their DAW or whatever. But like, I personally, if I were to do an experiment like this, would make sure to multi-track it. If I was bothering to use Ableton 12 at all, I would want an audio interface with multiple inputs so I could isolate everything and then have it sound polished and definite. So maybe that's something in the future for this person to investigate. But otherwise, fun stuff. I just want to mention to the chat, since we switched over to a different link when we had to start over again, I can't see your chat anymore. I just want to apologize. I'm going to have to just power through this without reacting to your chat. So, sorry, you guys are on your own. I don't know. If you want to load up on the chat on your phone and look at it, you don't have to. But right now, I don't want to have to stop the stream again to fix that. So let's just keep going forward and listening to these submissions. All right. We got Vozgan. He's a repeat submitter, viewer of the show, and also a private student of mine. He has submitted a track called Desert Funk. Let's check it out.
Anthony Rother's here. What's up, Anthony?
Hey. What's up? Nice to have you. Anthony knows from being a guest how difficult the whole remote video audio sync thing can be. So he knows. He's been through it with me. You're not alone, Jean-Paul. Nice chill intro here. I like the chords.
Yeah. Interesting vocal treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the chords are great.
I'm not surprised. This is really great. A lot of the music I hear from Volsoc has these kind of rich chord progressions in them, and so, this is like some nostalgia going on here. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
I love it.
It's got that laid-back California vibe going on with this Detroit style happening. Like those vocal elements are very like lowrider.
Sure.
Los Angeles.
I bet you there's some electro purists out there that would be like, that's not really all electro, but I think it's my understanding is that would include this. That there is a spectrum within
100%.
electro. You can go electro funk, you can even get almost to hip hop and breaks, and then you can go the other way and you can go more like industrial or experimental or IDM, but the electro ties it all together.
Yeah, I was when this first started, I was thinking more like old school breakdance music.
Yeah, a little bit.
There's like a certain Midnight Star element to this.
Paul Hardcastle.
Yep.
Really nice. Let's jump in a little bit. .303 solo. Yeah, this would definitely be like, it reminds me of the 90s in a nice way, in a good way, and this would definitely be a track that like you get some breakbeat rave DJs playing too, you know, or some trip hop kind of people being into, but then it also crosses over onto the electro, a little bit Florida, a little bit California. It's nice. Nice work from Wolfgang.
Yeah, there's a little of that Hell Interface Midas touch from Boards of Canada happening.
Amazing record.
Yeah.
Which, what's the name of that song again that's a remix of? That acapella?
Oh gosh.
Is it Trapped? It's like Colonel Abrams' Trapped. That's what I think.
Yeah, that's right. That's it. Yeah.
All right. I'm just gonna let it play out to the end because we're almost done. I like the flange on the drums. You know, the kind of metallic comb filtery effects underneath. Definitely help make it sound. I feel like certain beats, if you just do that effect with the short delay, with the feedback, it just makes it sound electro. Or whether it's on a voice, that's another good alternative to a vocoder, is the comb filter, you know, metallic tone on your voice. Nice. The mix is good. Yeah, I don't have really anything terrible to say about this. What do you... Any other comments before we move on?
I love it.
Really good one.
Absolutely love it. I think the mix was spot on. I think the vocal treatments were really killer. I love the general vibe of it. It's like, it brings me back. Like I said, like I have a lot of Midnight Star records, and that kind of like fits right into that wheelhouse of like early breakdance when they're still using weird robotic noises and stuff. So love it. Cool.
Let's hit the next one. We got Tom Relic, Bug Powder.
It's all happening. Telepathic.
Electro with some retro video game post-industrial vibes. Smack OS 808 drums. That's the Lego Velt drum rack that you can download from his website. It's been around for years. It's really great. Arturia V synths and ACB SH101 bass from the Roland Phantom. Workstation synthesis. I love it. Nice intro. Still in the deep space area with this in the last couple of tracks. This is really nice. I heard your dog this time.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear the dog? I don't know if the noise canceling caught the dog. It's not in the track. Just saying that to tell you it's not in the track, if you heard it.
Love the sequenced arpeggiator in this.
What's arpeggiated? Is it just those little chords?
Yeah.
You sure that's not just chord stabs?
Yeah, it just might be stabs with a big delay on it.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yep.
All right, let's see what happens in the next part.
And just opening the filter up.
Nice. So granular.
Yeah.
Granular. I bet you that's pigments or something.
Right.
All right, this track's a little bit longer. I'm going to jump in a little bit until I hear something change that's significantly different.
Right when I was about to say I wish that the filter would open up on that bass, then it did. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it was at a transition point where I think that chord came in, right? We have a little melodic variation in here.
Yep.
All right. Oh, it finally did what I was hoping it would do. I wanted the bass note to change. Let's hear how that happens.
Yep.
Interesting.
Oh.
Moody harmony happening with that bass going down. It's telling a story now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's jump in again a little bit. Okay, I knew there had to be a place where there was more of a breakdown. I think we're getting to it. And I'm going to open up YouTube and see if I can find a chat.
25.
Section 25, looking from a hilltop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
classic.
get a little bit of that in this with the, yeah. A good fade out on the drums. Probably bring up the levels on those vocal samples. I'd like to hear what they're saying.
Yeah, I agree. They could be a little more forward because they're just sort of ambience in the background. This is all happening. Finally, I could hear.
This is all happening.
Yeah, I would. All right, just going into the end here.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just a little bit distracted trying to get the chat up on my phone. But go ahead and say what you were going to say.
I'm curious if this is a reference to Naked Lunch because of the song title, and so I was trying to hear if those voice samples were from the film.
Well, look at the pictures. So. Is this from Naked Lunch? This still? I don't know. You can't see it. There's a guy with this big bug. It's like this huge oversized beetle with this. I think it probably is a Naked Lunch reference. And but yeah, if you just took those vocals, turned them up, but also it starts loud and then it gets quiet. You probably want to compress the vocal samples so that the quiet stuff comes up a little bit so you can hear it more clearly. Even if that way, also you don't have to turn it up as loud in the mix if it's compressed. So, but very nice track. I love the chord change in the as it progresses with the bass. Playing the different roots, right? That was really nice, a little more sophisticated development there. So very nice. Good mix too, I think, other than the vocals
Especially
being too quiet.
Yeah, I think the choice of chord progression was surprising to me in a good way. I think it really fit well. It was something that I wouldn't have chosen those progressions, but it sounded spot on. Yeah. Yeah,
and a little bit more kind of cinematic and like less explicitly electro style, because you got to admit a lot of musical harmonic choices in electro are very similar. You get all these augmented fourths and fifths and chromatic steps up and down. It always has this kind of, or it's pentatonic. It's like there's kind of a limited musical palette with a lot of melody and harmony in electro. So it's refreshing when someone goes outside of that, but it still is electro, right? That's definitely good. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. We've got Joaquin Lobo, The Source. Wow, another chill one, at least for the beginning. We're in a spacey zone today. We had the one track was particularly more energetic, right? But everything else has been pretty chill.
Demented children's music box.
Right. But it's doing that musical thing that I was just talking about.
Yep. Little John Carpenter.
Exactly. It's very like John Carpenter, little sinister, simple, scary, childlike melody.
Yep.
I like that. Strong bass note coming in out of nowhere just to lift it up a little bit. There's some sub bass line in there now too.
Yep.
Sounds like it's playing the same melody as the lead, or similar.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Definitely creeping up on something playing this music. It's got a certain type of sci-fi aesthetic happening. Let's jump in a little bit. This is a 7-minute long track, so we're gonna have to skip around a little bit.
Oh, little journey.
Nice little pause there with the beat.
Little stutter.
Yeah. All right, I was just gonna say I wanted that melody to go away, and here, finally.
Right. I think one critique is for things that are this minimalistic, having them a 7-minute track is probably not the right way forward. Sometimes minimal is better for like 4.5.
I see what, yeah. Like he's taking a few parts and stretching them out for a really long time. And that can work, but then I feel like some more development might be necessary, musically or sonically. Like if you're modulating your sounds more. These sounds haven't really changed.
Correct.
It's a good structure. Let's hear how it comes back in at the end of the spacey break here with the delay. Actually, I'll give that a chance. Let's hear that full on.
Yeah.
Here's a place where I could have, like, maybe that main lead going away and giving us a break on that, or doing something new might have been good. But yeah, overall,
different new percussive elements
or something. Yeah. Like overall, it's a solid track. It's a good groove. It's a good vibe. It's very decisive in terms of the style, right? Maybe just needed some editing. Like this whole thing being more like 4 or 5 minutes, but all of those ideas happening a little bit more quickly and consistently. I think, I would just maybe go back to the arrangement on this and see how can you make this work more concisely? Like maybe not all of those sections need to be as long as they are. And I'm saying, all right, take that with a grain of salt, because I skipped through it. So
yeah, I really appreciate that one shot bass note that happens once in a while to bring the to bring the whole movement back into place.
Totally.
I wish it would be a little longer tail and maybe a more of a cavernous reverb on that.
Exaggerated a little bit
and maybe
more.
less of an attack once in a while, so it just sweeps in somewhere. Just change it up here and there, I think would be really awesome.
Well, what you're talking about, changing up the sounds, having the sounds evolve. That's like tweaking your synths, getting your hands on the knobs or doing automation envelopes in the DAW, however it is you're working, and making the sounds a little bit more alive. That would go a long way to making this more
100%
satisfying to listen to, as nice as it is. But anyway, so far, again, nice work from everybody. Let's move along to Ixians, the Ninth Planet. Getting some UK rave vibes with that pad in the beginning. It reminds me of hardcore, the score.
Stuttered voices.
Ooh, this is loud. I'll turn down just a little bit.
I'm gonna turn it up.
That whole intro went by like that was smooth.
Oh yeah.
But that would be a good example for the last guy. Like, you can move through things a little more quickly sometimes.
Yeah, efficient.
This is good.
Lovely soul oddity style tweaky noises happening, and
Well, you like those kinds of sounds. You use sounds like that.
yeah, a little bit. Oh,
This is good. Good sound design.
ooh,
Sounds like shepherd tone action. Endless rising.
yep. Ooh,
Some high level stuff, man.
I did not say this.
I am not here. I know that sample. What is that from again? That's really familiar.
where is it from? 60s science
No.
sci-fi movie.
This is
I'm
newer.
imagining.
That's a newer sample. It sounds vintage, but I think it's a newer movie. Someone in the chat's gonna know. Dune. It's from Dune.
Okay, yeah, this is.
Perfect. Zeitgeist. Finding
Yeah,
cool
this is like-
samples that are like people know that are in context but used in a unique way or a cool way that are very current. That's a skill.
Very cinematic, wonderful landscape. Oh, nice.
Yeah, this is. I'm into it.
Yeah.
And having the section with just
Oh,
it's
yeah.
mainly just the kick drum and clap or snare and the bleeps.
Whoa. Yeah.
All right. I don't want to skip through, but I'm going to skip through a little bit. There's that rising thing again. I'm a sucker for that.
Sure. That new bass line that came in.
Oh, Tom Relic says that the Dune sample is from the David Lynch Dune.
Right. That makes
Okay.
sense. Oh, yeah.
So they're all mixed up in my head now. The two versions. All right, I'm gonna draw the line here. I don't love the ravey, Goa East Side Trancy acid thing right now. That's a little over the line for me. It works, so it's just not my cup of tea in this case. It reminds me more of there's some like UK trippy breaks records from the 90s that were similar to that.
Yeah.
It's not bad. I'm not dissing it. Don't get me wrong. I just feel like you didn't need it. This track
Yeah, I
is
think-
so good that I'm like that. Just to have one critical thing to say about it is something. All right, it's about over.
It's really hyperactive. There's so many different elements, constantly changing. Really unique sound design programming.
Okay, too much stuff going on?
The drums are great.
Yeah, definitely drums are good. If I think about this from a DJ point of view, is it too much? Like on a sound system, is it too busy? No. Maybe.
I think if it, peak hour, this being a frantic, highlight of a set,
Yeah.
I think is great. I think, like you said, like the tracks surrounding it would probably need to be a lot more chill, but that one is pretty frantic and hyperactive and
but not hard. It's not
really
like
dig that.
no.
Yeah. It's
But
not
there still
relentless
is
and
a
in your
lot going on.
face. It's good.
Cool.
Good one.
Pneumolic says the fire alarm is going to go off again. With tracks like that. All right, let's move on to the next one. We're definitely blowing past 2 hours a day. I mean, do we count the fire alarm, false alarm interruption? But I guess not counting that and other technical difficulties, I suppose that we're still somewhat on schedule. But we've got Kenny Towen, Electro starter for 10-3. And there we go. Back down to the slow cosmic vibe.
Yep. 120 BPM range.
I haven't made any slow tracks in a long time. I feel like I need to. Up and down chromatic. It always works though, right? Just that 1/2 step up and down.
It's interesting, and I never really hear this style of electro this slow. Like this sounds like it normally lives like a good 15 BPM faster, but I really appreciate.
Well, it would seem a lot
That
busier if this was up at like 120 or 130. It would be a lot busier and frenetic. It's exactly as it is, because these sounds are quite thick and rich, but slowed down, it sounds more spacious, more soundtrack-like.
Yeah, I think that's what you're getting. That's right there. I remember there's a really great electro track in the John Wick 4, and this reminds me a bit of that. Yeah.
Let's go in a little bit. Nice bit of contrast there. And again, some interesting melodic development that's not typical for your average electro track, let's say.
Right. Yeah.
But this is good.
Like those alien dolphin noises in the background are pretty great.
Nice. Not hitting you over the head with the drop there. I found there's all the noise increase. So there's some automation on that noisy percussion. I wouldn't have minded if the musical stuff got brighter also to go along with it. And if there were just a little more of a heaviness to the bass when it came back in. Again, we talked about this before. That could be stylistic choice. They want to keep it from hammering you and just ease into it. Some nice edits in there. So, I don't know. Overall, what do we say?
Overall, nice bass line. It feels like it's some like stormtroopers are marching type of thing. Overall, I think it's great. It's very dark. It's cavernous. It's got good automation and modulation happening. So there's at one point there's 3 different synths that are all following kind of the same sample and hold structure.
Right. Well, I think I'm going to drop in here real quick. There's a higher melody that comes in. I think it's the same synth as the lower notes. And I like that idea that they're all moving together, but I also kind of wished it was a different tone. Because in that section, it sounds like there's a lot of those same filtery sawtooths happening all at once. So, even if it was just duplicated and EQ'd differently or just something. But yeah, what were you going to say?
Yeah. You'd run the risk of when you start opening up a bunch of elements like that, and you could start there's a reverb on the hi-hat that starts trying to occupy the same space that those new synths are coming in at, and so dialing back on the reverb a bit or EQing that a bit so that they're not going to clash and try to occupy the same frequency ranges.
Yeah,
I think would help out a lot. But overall, really nice.
Yeah, it's nice. I think also the mix is okay. I wouldn't mind a little bit of work on the mix. I feel like there's some muddiness in the mid-range a little bit, but it's acceptable. Not muddiness, it's sort of cloudy. So, but it could be some EQ, some levels. There's some detail in there I feel like that could have come out a little bit sharper, but also maybe it's done, right? Nice one. Thanks, Kenny Toen. Let's move on to, it's Bass Kittens time. Option Traction.
Right, this is a very close friend of mine, but I have not listened to this song. No idea.
So I should have just played it and pretended it was someone else to get your real opinion. It's slow electro today, but I really like this one already. I like that zap for the snare drum a lot. Very like, what synth is that? It sounds like hardware because things are slightly out of sync.
106. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Could
The
be
atmosphere stuff coming in right now is balancing
777.
This is cool. So now, this one has a loose, slightly out of sync groove, but from Bass Kittens, I know that's on purpose, right?
Sure. Yeah, of course. I imagine that's hardware as well.
Great.
So Kraftwerk.
Right. We're all suckers for that,
This
right?
could also be like, yeah. I could hear like some goth vocalists over top of this.
A little bit of that as well. We got some dark wave, synth wave.
Peter Murphy was singing on this. Yeah.
Oh man. What's that latest AI music generation site that like starts with a U? You know what I'm talking about? And the guy from the Black Eyed Peas has something to do with.
Yeah.
Anyway, I played around. I'm totally spacing on what that is, but I played around with it. It's getting scary. I'm sorry. Someone did like a Depeche Mode alike. It sounds like Dave Gahan. It sounds like Depeche Mode songwriting. It sounds like Depeche Mode lyrics. It's ridiculous. How close it's getting.
Yeah.
I mean, all right, here's another thing. Conceptually, how electro is it to have AIs generating electro? Like, just, it's kind of like.
I mean, I don't think so because, like Kraftwerk, it's man and machine. It's not just machine.
Yeah, but the relationship dynamic, it's changed. It's still man and machine, but it's going in the other direction now. I still think it's very like sci-fi, electro high concept to like explore that stuff.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's such a crapshoot though. Yeah.
Sure. Okay, back to the Bass Kittens track. I like this breakdown. It's all very Kraftwerky in a good way. Nice sounds. I really like the main melody here. Honestly, we kind of talked over this whole part with the breaks. Sorry to chop up your track. I really like it. What else can we say about this? I mean, for those of you who don't know, Bass Kittens has been around. This is a project for going way back. Really good electro and breaks and bass music. Knows what you're doing, right? So what else can we say? Maybe the drum break in the middle was a little long. Do we even need to say that? It's a good track. I like it.
How long is that one?
4 minutes, 40 seconds. And we talked over like a minute of it. So...
Yeah.
Good stuff. I'm sorry. We're having fun. I'm really happy to have Bass Kittens taking part in our stream today. All right, let's move along. Pneumolic gravity induced. Oh wait, there's a story here. As the alien mothership approaches, it disrupts the fabric of space and time. All matter is vaporized in the wake of their sonic assault. You like my intro?
Yes. Perfect.
And there goes your dog again. Once again for the stream. If you hear a dog barking, not in the track. So far so good. Solid. Distorted 808. Tight. Some good bleeps and blips in the background. Oh, I like that. That just took it a step up. The nice tight 16th note bass.
I like how it pauses to let that other line come in, and then
I like that growly, whatever that is. Is that a wub? Is that what we call wubs now?
I think they're wubs.
Yeah. But they're not dubstep wubs. Heaven forbid, right? Now, I like some of that stuff too, just to be honest. Not the crazy, insane, scratch your face off EDM kind of dubstep. The good stuff. The deeper stuff. All right, let's go in a little bit. I even think there's room. I like a lot of the modern UK bass music that kind of rides the line between electro and breaks and dubstep and techno. So good, some of that stuff. Oh, here we go. We got our, we're borderline respaces now. But kind of weird in a good way. Okay, let's jump in a little bit more.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's, for quite a while in the UK break scene, there was like these elements of like, of like dubstep wobble bass noises and stuff with breakbeats in it. Breakbeats in early sidebag Tipper, that Feel Records crew.
Wow,
like,
Tipper was amazing.
Shared
Tipper's
a lot
still
of
around,
those
right?
elements with, Yeah, he's just, he announced his retirement from touring. So he's just finishing up his last few shows, and that's it. Probably still release tunes, but just touring is hard.
It is. I stopped doing it. Okay, I like this track. I kind of wish the mix was a little better. It sounds kind of closed in. This track sounds like it should be bigger and fuller and wider. I mean, I don't know. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Like you said, it's a little muffled. And so, like you said earlier, like, taking the blanket off of the mix and making it
this
sound
one is
crisper
brighter
and
than that
more
one.
clarity behind it. And right, but there's still some like vagueness in there. So
yeah, and it would be hard to.
I think some elements need that clarity. Like the kick drum seems a little muffled as well.
Yeah,
but
it's hard to diagnose
overall,
over the internet.
Great track. Yeah, great track, but a little more polish on the mix.
Right, nice. I'm noticing this has been happening all day today. The delay. Sorry if I occasionally talk over you. There's definitely something going on today with our connection, as mentioned. But we're pressing through. Okay, we've got Itzek, Hypothesized. Some electro from Rotterdam. Okay, just as a point of contrast, the sound of this mix versus the last one is what I'm talking about. Almost kind of breaky in a way. Broken beat techno-ish electro acid. Chunky.
I love the drums are shuffling and they're little smearing here and there.
Yeah, I mean it sounds like the whole mix is compressed and saturated, so it's all kind of crunched together. It's funny, it's like heavy and energetic, but also chill at the same time. It's dense. I wonder if it isn't a little too crunched. Switching over to criticism now. Like, because when those pads come in, it starts to get kind of a little over the limit.
Right, a little crispy.
Yeah, like the way the mix is processed, it sounds cleaner when it's just drums and bass and acid, but when the pads come in, it starts to break up. Actually, your dog barking sounded cool there for a second. It was like someone at the party going, woo! Yeah, I'm gonna jump in a little bit. I like all the elements of this track, but I feel like in context, the acidy beats are the best part of it. But all the melodic elements are nice too.
I feel like a lot of the elements are sharing the same delay, and so so it gets a little saturated and overwhelming here and there.
Yeah, I think it could be just pulling back the levels a little bit, running into the master bus. That could be all you need to do. It's a really cool track though. It's unique. It's got its own style.
Yeah.
E.T.'s in the chat, and he says I agree. Sounds busy. Busy can be good. It's not that. I think it's just that density of sound hitting the master bus and crunching up like that is kind of going. It's making it more of a sausage and a little fuzzy where it could be clean.
Yeah. And like I was saying about that delay as well. It's like I hear a delay on the kick, I hear it on the bass, on the acid line, I hear it on the arpeggiators, I hear it, and so when you have so much, then it's all fighting against each other a little bit, and maybe that's helping the crunch.
Yeah. Still, there's that dog. What's that? There's a TikTok sound. Can I touch that dog? Want to touch that dog? Okay. Moon Talk. I'm sorry. Niels Tarhe Helme. Apologies for butchering your name if I did. This is Moon Talk. It's 1989, and I like digital bass lines.
It's a rep.
Yeah. I like this. Very clean so far. Let's jump in. It's a long intro. Oh, focus. Goes with the looks like a AI image of an astronaut in space. Artwork along with this on SoundCloud. Sort of glitchy chops on that astronaut sample. Some different drum sounds. We've been hearing mostly synthesized drums and 808 drums, and now we got more like sampled drum machine sounds.
R8,
something like that, or it's definitely a mid to late 80s production vibe on this. Nice to have this represented as well, because this is still electro, as far as I'm concerned.
That Alesis SR16, very popular with like Nitzareb and 1242. Love it.
Now, if you compare this to like early to mid 80s electro funk, breakdance kind of electro, it's very different in energy, right? But it's still, and so, you know, you could argue this is less electro and more industrial EBM, new wave, alternative dance. But there's definitely a thread that connects them. There's so many similar, it's part of the same lineage of production and style.
Yep, 100%.
All right, jumping into the break here. Get a riser. Okay, I was wondering when we were going to get a lead.
Uh-oh. Yep.
Now it's acid. Getting into kind of acid breaks territory here. Do you like it?
I can
like
bring that in.
Could happen sooner.
Bring that in earlier, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's a 7-minute track. We skipped over about a minute of it. Gets a little beeps in there from the astronaut jibber jabber.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wait, what was that? It's a kind of bright stab on top. Yeah. I think it took too long to get there. Right? I like this track. I think it's good. Mix is pretty good.
Yeah, that acid line is really killer, though.
Mm-hmm. I think that could have been introduced much sooner. I would like, and the other thing I was going to say about it is that it goes from here to how many minutes? It goes for 4 minutes before the lead comes in or the acid comes in. So I would have introduced all that in sooner, taken it away in the middle, and then brought it back rather than wait almost like 2/3 of the track to bring it in. I mean, that's also a choice. Like you want to build up tension for a long time before you give them the goods. But I feel like in this circumstance, it would have worked better if the 303 came in sooner or some melodic element came in sooner.
Yeah, I agree. I think minute 2 could have probably serviced that 303 more. It's so killer, like that I want to hear it a lot sooner and for a longer period of time too.
I just see in the chat somebody, SB, is asking where to submit tracks for review. Yeah, you can go to our Discord server. There's a link in the description. You go to the Selway feedback channel. Although we're not taking any more submissions for today. In fact, we're just about to wrap up. We are actually at the last submission for today. And somehow, amazingly on time. Like I was saying, we would go up to about 2 hours. It's about 2 hours. Even with the break, we would have been done early at the rate we were going. Because sometimes for these sessions, we have like 20-something, 30 submissions, and it takes a long time. And if we listen to the whole tracks, we just never get done. So even with the interruption by the New York Fire Department and the stream stopping by itself, and my guest's camera and audio delays, which is, who knows, the internet is just being difficult today. We've made it in the allotted amount of time. So let's go ahead with our final submission. This is LOVD Syphoma. Yeah, it says Master BP1. I'm guessing that's just a working title. We're going to call it Syphoma. Ending on a chill, spacey vibe, which is fine with me. That's been the order of the day. Like the little fills.
Yeah.
It's got kind of a rolling bass music vibe, right? Got those dotted eighths. Syncopated bass hits. That's great.
Is that a bass or is that the kick drum?
It sounds like a bass, but I guess a big 808 could be a kick or a bass. It's a bass. See here the pitch going up. Here's the punchy kick coming in.
Yep.
Sounds like a 909 kick. Yeah, it's a nice, I feel like this kind of groove is right up your alley. I like it. I like the rolling, breaky electro vibe
those little fills happening here and there that breaks it up, and little filigree and little detail, little garnish on the plate.
Got a little vocal clip in there.
sucker for cut up vocals.
Doesn't even have to mean anything.
Ooh. Good breakdown.
Yeah. I mean, keeping it simple, nothing radical, just maintaining the atmosphere, lightening it up. Simple and effective. I like how far away it is now. I think all they did was roll the low end off of the bass. Some new melody elements in there.
Yep.
And it's so smooth, it just kind of subtly changed, right?
Those resonant filter sweeps.
Smooth, nice. And taking the pads away. Good move.
Yeah, Yep.
I mean, I don't know where
Good
this
build up and release.
LOVD, where are you from? This sounds like a little bit more US, Southeast US style to me. But it might not be. Not like other people from other parts of the world don't make music like this. But you know what I mean? It's got a little Florida in it. In inspiration, at least. LOVD is in Skopje, Macedonia. So not at all what I was thinking.
Wow.
Unrelated to Electro, bit of information, bit of trivia. Christian Smith and I did a live performance together with the Macedonian state orchestra in Skopje. We did the whole techno guys with an orchestra thing in Skopje. Yeah. No one knows about it.
Amazing.
I just told everybody. The funny thing is they wanted Tiesto. That's the funny part about it. They got us.
Wow.
All right, this is a good
I love
track
the
to end
new
on. Yeah.
elements in the background.
It's sort of like a high choral sound, right?
It's a great, yeah. Right. Yeah.
Nice
Great
one.
reverb tails. And that chorus in the background.
I just let this one play to the end. It's the end of the show. This is a nice vibe to wrap up with. You got a nice little story from me about Macedonia. Nice work. Thank you, LOVD. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah, good job on this one.
Yeah, well, I think everybody did a good job. We had a really high quality group of submissions today, for sure. Wow. Okay, I can't believe we made it. What an eventful show. Seriously. I think who said there was a comment here. Oh, Anthony Rother is saying great tracks in this feedback session. Thank you all for the music and for the show. Much appreciated. Nice to have you hanging around again, Anthony. I don't know. Maybe Anthony should be on the show again if I can work out this remote issue with the delay again. I don't want to put him through that, or you for that matter. There's somebody said something
Wanted
about...
to shout out to Synthetics.
Yeah. Synthetics
808. He's I just discovered him recently. His music is so killer. He's out of San Francisco, so I just wanted to say hey to Synthetics. Super stoked that he stopped by.
Nice.
Yeah, his tracks.
We're gonna check him out for sure.
Amazing. Yeah.
Luminous Cloud said this is a classic episode of Electro Saturdays. Is it because of the crazy things that happened that make it a classic episode? I think it was my guess. I think it was having Jean Paul on that made it a classic episode. I love doing this with people, not just me. I've done one Electro feedback session by myself, and it's cool. I get to hang out with the viewers and talk about their music by myself, but it's more fun, if not technologically fraught, when I have guests from other parts of the world to join me. I guess I kind of thrive on this little tightrope walking thing. It gets my it's like when you DJ and right before you DJ, you get that little nervous, like, oh, I'm about to go. It's like that, right? It's like I'm still doing gigs, but then there's the technology fail and the fire alarm, and oh my God. So again, thanks to everybody for putting up with all that and sticking with us through to the end and checking out all these great submissions, which I just want to thank everybody again for doing. And I want to say thank you to Jean-Paul for hanging out. It's nice to get to know you, being tangentially, we have friends, we have similar friends. We know people in the industry, we've talked to each other by email about plugins and things like that. So it's really great to spend some time getting to know you, listening to your music and talking about music. And that's why I do this. It's one of the big reasons I do this, is to reach out to people that I want to connect with. So thanks again.
Yeah, and just want to thank you for reaching out to me and inviting me on. Like, it's really killer to hang out with you. Old electro heads like us are, it's super fun to talk to each other, and coming from the same place. And also thanks to everybody submitting tracks today, because like the caliber was just really killer, and just always love to hear this new stuff. So
agreed.
Thanks for everybody submitting stuff.
All right. So Acid Bat says we've become their Saturday morning cartoons. So that's a nice sentiment. I'm going to wrap it up now. I've got to get on with my day. You probably need to get on with your day. What, are you going to go play pinball or something? Was that yesterday?
You
You said something about having like a pinball group or
4
something.
days a week.
Wow, that's amazing. So nice little tidbit of information to know. And once again, last time, thank you. It was crazy. Thanks to the New York Fire Department for keeping us safe. And thanks to OBS for spontaneously stopping the stream and making us restart again. And we're going to do this again. I'm going to keep reaching out to find some new guests to do some more of these electro sessions. I'm going to have another techno section. I am going to say that I'm taking a break next weekend. I'm going to be on a road trip with my family, going to see my folks, going down to Virginia. Might even go, check this out, might even go see a ska band play live. How about that? How about not related to electro at all? I may be the singular connection between the Washington, D.C. ska scene and electro music, because I used to play in a ska band in high school into the beginning of college. And we used to do things like open up for like the Scatolites and famous ska bands back then. And I'm going to see some of those guys. We're going to get together and maybe go see a show next week. So next week it would if I were to do a live stream, it would be Selway Ska Saturdays. I should do that one day. It's just like as a joke. Everything will be all two-tone, black and white. All right, enough about that. Thanks, and we'll see you next week. Excellent. Adios.
titanium sound. It takes you to the zone. In the zone you're free to move through the stars. In the zone you see the Zoid never dies.